Kash is in jail. He's been in jail for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me the circumstances about that.
Back last year, I'm not sure what month it was, uh, Kash, he is a disabled vet. He has PTSD. He has
Right.
severe depression.
Right.
And he was getting therapy, there in Arkansas. He was seeing a therapist. Would you like some more coffee?
I would love some more coffee.
Well, let me just get you some.
Okay.
But, depression, no matter if you're being
Thank
seen 3 times a day or just 1 time a month, depression rears its ugly head when it's ready.
Right.
You don't get a choice in the matter.
Right.
And he was having difficulty. Shortly after moving to Arkansas, I'd say within about 2 years, his relationship with his girlfriend at the time had fallen apart, and it wasn't expected,
Right.
but it happened. And then in that time, things came about where Caden was going to be allowed, or Kash was going to be allowed to go to Illinois to see Caden. And COVID hit. And whenever COVID hit, then of course everything was locked down.
Right.
And that was never brought back to the table again.
Yeah.
And so Kash was depressed over that. And of course, throughout time that all this has been going on, he has called the FBI. If it's got an alphabet out there, he's called them. He's everybody,
Yeah.
anybody that would listen,
Yeah.
the sheriff's department. I mean, he's called numerous people to look into what was going on
Right.
in his case, that
Mhm.
what was happening was being done illegally.
Mhm.
And of course, nobody wanted to get involved.
Right.
And one morning, his depression was bad as the day went along. It got worse. He called Lake County Sheriff's Department, and I don't know verbatim what was said. I did hear the audio parts of it. All I could hear is that my son was in the very pit of a mental meltdown.
Yeah. I saw there were some times that he was in a very dark place.
Yes, he was. It was consuming,
I mean, I think that there were people that were calling him like, Kash, are you gonna?
Yeah.
Because it was that bad.
Yeah,
But
he did. He got bad, and he hit rock bottom, and he made that phone call. And like I said, I don't know word for word, what he said, but what I do know is that he did not call either of these judges at their home, at work,
Right.
on their cell phone. He called a sheriff's department, and he was, trying to get them to basically do their job, as he said it,
Yeah. Yeah.
And these are trained officers who, to the best of my knowledge, anytime you have someone to make a call or you're in vision of whatever the case is, and this person is having a mental breakdown, you do whatever you can to de-escalate. And no officer on that audio did any such thing.
Yeah. Probably just the opposite. Tried to provoke him a little bit.
I felt like it was provoked in a little bit, because it was obvious that they were very familiar with my son and his voice and his case. And like I said, I didn't hear them say anything to kind of de-escalate where he was at that point. And they didn't goad him. That's absolutely the wrong word. But they left it open for him to continue, to be out of control.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he allegedly, made a threat against these 2 judges.
Mm-hmm.
Then he was arrested. He was held there in Arkansas. I don't remember for how long. We were able to bail him out there. While there, once he got out, the judge there said that you'll have to come in every Monday and check in with the sheriff's department, let us know you're still here,
Yeah.
that you've not run off. and whatever guidelines that they set for him, he met every one of them.
Yeah.
And then he goes, for one of his visits to find out now there is, a warrant for his arrest coming from Illinois. That they're.
That was absolutely incredible. And the ironic thing is that they didn't pay any attention to him when he was calling for help.
Right.
But when he has a breakdown like this, then
Right.
all of a sudden it's like now he's a killer or a madman or whatever.
Right. Well, and it was mentioned that it was noted that, it did show that his cell phone did ping off of the tower in his area. Now,
In Arkansas.
Right, in Arkansas.
And I think you have a point to this.
I do. At no time did it ever show that his cell phone pinged from any other tower. He was not traveling. He wasn't going anywhere. He wasn't headed to Illinois on this mad mission
Right.
to do wrong.
Right.
He was at home in the middle of a mental meltdown. He had hit
Yeah.
rock bottom.
Yeah.
He just.
And I think that it's important what you're saying here with the mental meltdown, because we have had officers in Dallas that have shot somebody, and they always say, well, I was defending myself. I felt like all of a sudden that my life was in danger. That was nonsense.
Right.
Everybody knew it was a mental meltdown. And now they're starting to say, okay, how do the police need to respond to this? Because they're killing people that are having mental breakdowns.
Right, and mental illness is a very real thing, and because of the world that we live in today and those silly little devices everybody keeps in their hands, it's feeding all that negativity into their body all the time.
Yeah.
Mental illness is a larger issue, and it's a more spoken about issue.
Right.
It's just not addressed as seriously as it should be.
And what I hear you saying is that during this meltdown, then something happened that a warrant came out for his arrest. So what happened from there? And again, this is what you and I remember, because I remember watching Kash one time and I thought, Kash, don't take your life. I mean, that's really what I was thinking.
Right.
But anyway, so then he got arrested.
He did get arrested. They transferred him to Lake County, Illinois, where he's currently being held.
So why was he transferred to Lake County, Illinois? Because everything happened in Arkansas.
I know, but because the call went into another state, then that's the state where the crime apparently took place, or the alleged crime. Because
well, it's always interesting how the alleged crime is against a citizen, but the judges never can commit a crime.
Right. Yeah, they can never do anything wrong.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know how many charges there are. I know that it's the 2 counts of, threatening to
a
kill
judge,
a public official, and then intimidation. Seems like there was more. I don't know if the 2 officers on the phone were intimidated and felt threatened. I don't know. But there's several, charges of intimidation there.
Yeah.
And he's been in there almost a year. I think December 11th will mark 1 year that he's been in Lake County.